You asked for solutions. We have answers. We cover Lactipro. Plus, we've got market recaps and a whole lot more. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Earhart.
And I'm Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck.
A big thank you goes out to our partners, ranchchannel.com, Transova Genetics, Axiota Animal Health, bringing you Multi-Min and Lactipro, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Gelbvieh Association, Imogene Ingredients and Pharmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, the Tri-State Livestock News, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station. Cow Country News, you know, the cow stuff.
We will get to the What's Your Beef trivia contest where you can score yourself some Ranch It Up gear in just a few minutes. But first, according to the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of North Carolina and MeetingPlace.com, a North Carolina man pleaded guilty to implementing a scheme to steal $1 million worth of cattle across the country. From April 2018 to October 2022, William Dalton Edwards, 25, of Mount Airy, North Carolina, and an accomplice defrauded livestock markets in North Carolina, Texas, Oklahoma, and Virginia by writing worthless checks for cattle purchases, according to the plea. The stolen cattle were then transported out of state and resold, resulting in losses exceeding $1 million to family-owned sales barns. Edwards' guilty plea includes charges of conspiring to defraud the U.S. and violate federal laws. The statutory maximum sentence for the offense is 5 years in prison. Edwards is currently out on bond with a sentencing date yet to be determined. The value of U.S. beef exports hit a near 2-year high in June, the U.S. Meat Export Federation commented late last week. Despite lower volume compared to a year ago, U.S. beef exports in June were worth $938.3 million, a 22-month peak. Exports to Japan rose, and Taiwan continued buying U.S. beef at near record levels. Exports to Canada were at a near decade high. U.S. MEF President and CEO Dan Hellstrom said, June beef exports performed very well in Japan, which was great to see given the significant headwinds U.S. beef has faced there this year. Export value also rebounded nicely in Korea, and shipments to Taiwan and Canada were outstanding. This made for another strong month in terms of export value per head slaughtered, which was nearly $460 in June. Beef export value per head of fed slaughter was up 13% in June from a year ago. For the first 6 months of 2024, beef export value was $5.22 billion, 5% higher than the same period a year earlier. Beef export value per head of fed slaughter was more than $418 for the first half, an increase of 6% from the same period in 2023. The invasive Asian longhorn tick has been found in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry confirmed the presence of this non-native arachnid, which was found in Mayes County. Asian longhorn ticks are light brown and extremely small in size. The Asian longhorn tick was first detected in the United States in 2017 when it was found in New Jersey. Oklahoma is now the 20th state to confirm a case of Asian longhorn tick. Asian longhorn ticks are native to China, Japan, and Korea. They can vector both human and animal diseases and cause severe anemia in animals. With the confirmation of this invasive species, the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry encourages all Oklahoma residents to report additional Asian longhorn tick encounters to the state.
Now some sale dates to keep in mind coming up next week, Monday and Tuesday, the 19th and 20th, from Northern Livestock Video Auction. Their early fall preview is going on. Also, at the same time, Superior's Bighorn Classic, the 19th through the 23rd. Of course, we're going to be recapping those sales, and then again, right after Labor Day is going to be the Superior Livestock Labor Day auction. And a market recap from Western Video Market's Little America sale took place earlier in the week in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We've got the whole market report available in the show notes at ranchitupshow.com, but just kind of cherry picking some out. Some Nebraska cattle. These are spayed heifers. There was 534 spayed heifers in this lot. They were weighing 810 pounds. Brought 252. Nebraska steers from Marcy Cattle Company brought a bunch of them to town. Here's 300 head, 950 pounds at 243. 800 head of 1,000-weight steers, Nebraska origin at 239. Wyoming spayed heifers weighing 875 pounds. There was 1,230 head of them brought, $230. Again, the complete recap and the sale report is available in the show notes at ranchitupshow.com. All right, it is time for the What's Your Beef Trivia Contest. You can score yourself some cool, some groovy Ranch It Up gear. Here's what we asked you last week. What institute offers a Master of Science in Ranch Management? The answer that we were looking for is the King Ranch Institute for Ranch Management. And congratulations goes out to Josiah in Minnesota. Answered correctly. I should say the first correct answer that we got. So, Josiah, I did email you back, and I need your shirt size. You forgot to include that in your email, so I need your shirt size to send that out. I believe we are sending out a long-sleeved Ranch It Up tee, and you were not here last week, or I should say you were not in this episode last week. Did you know this? Did you know this question?
Of course I did. I knew it was the
did.
King Ranch Institute for Ranch Management.
Of course you knew this one. Okay, so today, your What's Your Beef question. What should we give away for gear? We've sent some T-shirts, some long-sleeve tees.
Let's change it up. I think this week, let's give away a tee plus a hat, a cap.
Oh,
a Ranch It Up cap.
So we're doing a T-shirt and a lid.
You got it. And by the way, if you've not checked out the gear, you can check it out at ranchitup.us.
All right, here is your Ranch It Up. What's your beef question for today? So a T-shirt and a Ranch It Up cap. We'll throw in some really cool hat patches in there too, right?
You got it.
Okay, so here's your question. What was the name of the bull that sold for a record $1.5 million just a few years ago? Here's kind of the backstory. The sale, it was an Angus sale, took place February 9th, 2019 in St. Anthony, North Dakota. Schaff Angus Valley raised the bull. Herbster Angus Farms from Falls City, Nebraska purchased the bull. In fact, I even did an interview with Charles Herbster immediately following that sale. So remember that. What was the name? I'm looking for the name now of the bull, not the outfit. I'm looking for the name of the bull that sold for a record $1.5 million, raised by Schaff Angus Valley, purchased by Herbster Angus Farms, and it was February 9th, 2019.
When this bull sold, it made the headlines everywhere.
Oh, people were talking about it, still talking about it. So here's what you do. You can send us an email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. You can text us at 707-RANCH20. You can call and leave us a message at 707-RANCH20. Just get a hold of us. We will take the first correct answer. We'll see the timestamp on it. So make sure that you include...
of course, your name, your first name, last name, as well as a good mailing address, and include your shirt size so we make sure we get the right tee to you.
Right. All right. So we've got a T-shirt and a cap is on the line. Good luck. Check out all of our Ranch It Up gear at ranchitup.us, from tees to tanks to lids to my handmade hybrid Florida cow whips. Head to ranchitup.us.
When we come back, we answer your questions about Lactipro from Axiota Animal Health and how it can help set your calves up for success. You're listening to the Ranch It Up Radio Show.
Breeding season is here, and maybe you haven't made all of your decisions yet. Maybe you're looking to AI some cows or some heifers. Turn to Allied Genetic Resources. Top quality semen from elite bulls, and get those calves that fetch higher prices and thrive in today's competitive market. With Allied Genetic Resources, you're investing in a stronger, more profitable future. Visit Allied Genetic Resources today and start maximizing your herd's potential. With over 50,000 head marketed annually, Allied Genetic Resources.
cattle market reports to various news stories, the Tri-State Livestock News covers it all. Check us out at tsln.com. Subscriptions or advertising, call Tracy Hawk at 406-951-3211. The Tri-State Livestock News, what ranchers read.
Producers, pay attention now. Are you ready to take your herd to the next level? Discover Transova Genetics. As the leader in advanced reproductive technologies, Transova offers services like embryo transfer, IVF, and genetic preservation. Enhance your herd's genetics, increase productivity, and achieve your breeding goals with the expert team from Transova Genetics. Visit transova.com today and unlock your herd's full potential. Transova Genetics, leading the way in animal reproduction. A lot of you have been using ranchchannel.com to select your new herd sires. Well, coming soon, feeder and live cattle markets, corn, wheat, and bean futures, all at ranchchannel.com. And don't forget, lots of upcoming sales. Just head to ranchchannel.com. Welcome back to the Ranch It Up Radio Show, the most information packed into a 30-minute program that you can find. It's your All Things Ranching newscast, and so glad to be hanging out with y'all. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, rants, it doesn't matter. Give us a call or text at 707-RANCH20. That's 707-726-2420. Our email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Prowling around social media at Ranch It Up Show, preparing cattle to thrive during transition and stress. Been saying that the past few weeks as we get closer and closer to weaning time. Last week we visited about Multimin 90 from Axiota Animal Health, and today we take that yet another step with Lactipro from Axiota Animal Health. Dr. Kevin Kane, a technical service veterinarian with Axiota Animal Health, is back with us again today. Dr. Kane, thanks for coming back on this part of the program for one more time and helping us set our cattle up for success. Now, let's talk Lactipro. Give us the ins and the outs.
So Lactipro it's a product that's been on the market for about 12 years now, but it was primarily focused on just large feedlots. But now, based on updates to the packaging and supplying the product, it's got a longer shelf life. Now it's more user-friendly. And so when we look at Lactipro, it's a native rumen probiotic. And so what it does is it helps promote rumen health and development. And it's whenever we're going to transition those animals from a forage-based diet to a grain-based diet, it creates a lot of flexibility in the way we can transition cattle and the way we can feed cattle.
So is it feed? Sorry, I'm jumping right in there, Doc. But is it feeding the bugs in the rumen?
Yes. So basically, is what we're doing. So this rumen microbe will grow over time, about 4 to 6 weeks, and so that's why we step cattle up on those grain diets over a period of 4 to 6 weeks. With this product on arrival, we can provide a direct inoculation of that rumen bug and get them going on a grain-based diet right off the bat. So the nice thing about this product is it consumes lactic acid, which is the negative effects of feeding grain, but because that's going to cause acidosis or subacute acidosis. So if we provide this drench or capsule on arrival, that's going to consume that lactic acid, and it's going to convert that to butyric acid, which is going to promote that rumen health and development.
So if we were using this in combination with Multimin in a protocol, Multimin administered as a preconditioning, and then if we're into receiving some calves, or maybe I guess if we have them at home too, and we're doing a weaning scenario, we could use really kind of both together, right? Do they complement each other that way?
Yes, yeah, they're going to complement each other. And the nice thing about this, the Lactipro product, like I said, is it offers a lot of flexibility in the way we feed cattle and the way we can get them started on a grain-based diet. We know the quicker we can get them started eating and on that kind of diet, the more they're going to gain. And so just to kind of reference a study that was done looking at these kind of calves at a backgrounding type scenario, calves that were given Lactipro on arrival, they had a 31% reduction in BRD morbidity They had 24% greater average daily gain and a 15.5% greater feed efficiency. So not only do those cattle eat more, but they're also going to gain better and performance is going to be better in those animals.
And just that key area of keeping them out of the hospital pen.
Yes, absolutely. We know those calves, if they're not eating, if they're not gaining, they're not making us money. On the Lactipro side of things, I know up here where we look at grazing corn stalks in the fall, which is always a great crop residue option for cow-calf ranchers. If you know you got some fields that got a lot of down corn or corn on the ground, we can give this Lactipro product to those cows before we put them out to corn stalks and really minimize or decrease the risk of any kind of acidosis in those cows.
And again, we want to make sure that we mention any of these scenarios, these strategies, not scenarios, but strategies. It is very, very important to bring your veterinarian in and use them as a consultant. They just don't want to go and fix prolapses. That's not what they want to do. I mean,
Absolutely.
Bring them in as a consultant and together come up with a viable program of nutrition, of breeding, of water management, kind of the whole 9 yards. I think that is such a key thing here, Doc, of using them really to the ultimate, using them as a consultant and almost kind of like a manager, a co-manager on your operation.
Absolutely. And that's the way when I practice veterinarian here in central South Dakota, that's what I told my clients was, as a veterinarian, I should be making you money, not costing you money. And by that, I mean, let's sit down and let's develop and design a good herd health protocol. As far as vaccines, what we're going to use as far as antibiotics for treats and pulls, and work with your veterinarian to set that up and consult with them on these kind of products to make sure that you're developing the most effective and successful protocol that you can. Generally, most cow-calf ranches don't know the trace mineral status of their animals, so consult with your veterinarian about doing some liver biopsies to look at the trace mineral status of those animals and determine, what products are best and going to work for you.
Dr. Kevin Kane, Axiota Animal Health, bringing you Lactipro and Multimin 90. For more information, it can be found at axiota.com. And all this information is quick and easy to access at ranchchannel.com. Check out the listing for Axiota Animal Health in the products and services category on ranchchannel.com. Let's take a quick breather in the Ranch It Up Radio Show. We'll be back after this. It's time now to start adding value to those Gelbvieh and Balancer calves. The American Gelbvieh Association offers a wide variety of DNA tests and delivers its members and customers tools for success within the beef industry. You owe it to yourself by going to gelbvieh.org. ranchchannel.com. I know many of you have used it to search for your next herd sires. ranchchannel.com. You used it, you loved it. If you haven't gone to it, you need to. Coming soon, market information. Yep, feeder cattle, live cattle futures, corn, wheat, and beans, updated every 10 minutes at your fingertips. Plus, the additions of products and services, management tips, that information that you've been wanting, and again, all at your fingertips. It's your Farm and Ranch Network on demand, ranchchannel.com. The best way to raise beef on pasture, on crop residue, or in a dry lot, it's Westway Feed Products. Westway liquid supplements support increased forage utilization, efficiency, convenience, and sustainability. Find your nearest rep by calling 800-800-7517 or head to westwayfeed.com on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. For years now, I've been telling you all about Pharmatan from Imogene Ingredients. Well, it's time to make the change and add Pharmatan to your cow's diet, to your calf's diet. Get that boost in health and increase feed efficiency. It all starts with nutrition, so add Pharmatan. Have y'all tried livestockmarket.com yet? We have updates each and every week. Brought to us by auctiontime.com. We're all familiar with that one. Try livestockmarket.com. And don't forget, for all your equine needs, head to equinemarket.com. Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up Radio Show. That time in the program, we check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, recapping the markets from last week. Kirk, what's going on?
And good morning, Tigger, and all your listeners out there. As of Friday, August 9th, September feeders closed the week at 241.30. That's down 30 cents on the week, with the CME feeder index down 801. That narrowed the basis to a negative $3.21. So our listeners can see that the basis has came in, maybe not the way that we wanted to, with cash falling. October live cattle closed the week at 181.10. That's down 82.5 cents on the week, with cash trading 186 to 187 in the south and 193 in the north. That left the 5-area weighted average down 325 at 191.43, and the basis versus August futures at a positive $7.18. So pretty wide basis still versus August futures as it's in expiring month. The weekly slaughter was 591,000. That's down 2,000 versus last week and 12,000 below the same week last year. Choice boxes closed the week $1.06 lower at 312.71. December corn closed the week at $3.95 1/4. That's down 8.5 on the week.
Hey all, Mark Van Zee with LivestockMarket.com. Coming up this Wednesday, August 21st, we have an all-class cattle online auction. Bidding opens at just $100 a head. No reserves. All lots will sell. Featured lots include 160 Holstein feeder steers. They're 200 pounds, nice cut, and dehorned. They've been on a full vaccination program from Dink Farms in Mondavi, Wisconsin. 100 Angus feeder calves, 475 pounds. Delivery November 2nd, sired by front-end bulls. They're mostly black with a few baldies in there, from JC Cattle Company in Belfast, South Dakota. 15 Angus and Red Angus cows. They average 1,200 pounds, 5 to 7 years old. They're bred to a Black Angus bull. They'll all be in their second period of gestation, and they've been preg checked by the vet from Rafter LF Cattle Company in El Dorado Springs, Missouri. 10 bred Black Angus cows. They've all been vaccinated, dewormed. They're eating grass, hay, and grain. They're 3 to 6 months bred and 3 to 6 years old. They're about 1,200 pounds from Williams Farms in Sparta, Tennessee. Featured hay lots include 53 large square alfalfa bales, 3x3x8, poly twine, all alfalfa. It's been stored indoors, and they got shipping for you from Kendall County Equipment in Watsego, Illinois. 23 tons of large square alfalfa bales, 3x4x8, poly twine, 1,500 pounds. It's straight alfalfa from Keller Farms in Sand Creek, Michigan. 72 large round grass bales, selling on 2 36-bale lots, 4x5 net wrapped, first cutting native Missouri grass hay from Van Winkle Hay Farms in Ellington, Missouri. 30 large round mixed grass bales, 4x5.5 net wrapped, first cutting, baled in June from Mankey Auction Service in Perryville, Missouri. 150 small square alfalfa grass mixed bales, its first cutting from this year. Poly twine sprayed with preservative from JB Farms in Williamsburg, Iowa. And 100 small square grass bales, selling on 5 20-bale lots. It's wire-bound brome grass, 70 pounds from Kobza Online Auctions in David City, Nebraska. Bidding is currently live, but all lots will sell the morning of Wednesday, August 21st at 10 a.m. Central Time. Got cattle to sell? Regular online cattle auctions first and third Wednesday of every month, with hay sales every Wednesday on LivestockMarket.com and AuctionTime.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to raise cattle in other countries? Hey, I'm Shay Warner, and I'm the host of the Casual Cattle Conversations podcast. I sat down with Andrew Uden, who shared his experiences working in the beef industry in many other countries. Here's a taste of his experiences and what we talked about.
Europe, they're still very independent, but they all have quotas. You get certain quotas of what you can produce. And so they've had to breed their animals. You know, if your quota is so many animals a year of production off of how much land you own, you're going to breed monstrously big animals because you're still selling beef by the pound. If your quota is milk fat, you're going to breed tiny little efficient cows that have huge milk fat. Nobody ever really takes into question, are these the right cows for my environment? Because the government dictates what you can produce. And so, you know, I don't want to live in those environments. I like the freedom of operation we have here in the U.S. If you want to do source and age and natural or grass-fed or anything, you have the complete freedom and right to do that, and there's probably a market for it. And if you want to do absolutely no technology and just take your cattle to the sale barn first of the month, you have the complete right to do that.
Listen to the full story by searching for Casual Cattle Conversations on your favorite podcast player. Happy ranching, folks.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
Now, before we say fare thee well, I want to remind y'all of the Florida Cattlemen's Association Quality Replacement Heifer Sale going on August 23rd at the Arcadia Stockyard in Arcadia, Florida. Going to be selling Brangus, Beefmaster, Purebred Brahman, Brahman Cross, Brayford, Brayford Cross, F1 Brayford cattle. Also offering first calf heifer pairs for the first time. I want to remind all the buyers that you're going to have the opportunity to win a $1,000 bull credit from Gene Plus. So mark your calendars for August 23rd. Sale starts at 1 p.m. You can watch the sale live on Producer's Cattle Auction, and you can call in your bids if you're not able to attend to the Arcadia Stockyards. We'll have all the links available in the show notes at ranchitupshow.com. By the way, you can reach out to Beck and I. Follow along on Facebook at FCA Quality Replacement Heifer Sale. That's the Florida Cattlemen's Association Quality Replacement Heifer Sale going on August 23rd at the Arcadia Stockyards in Arcadia, Florida. And now that's going to wrap it up for today. A big thanks from our crew to yours, starting out with Dr. Kevin Kane with Axiota Animal Health, Shay Warner with Casual Cattle Conversations, Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, Mark Vanzi with LivestockMarket.com, and the boss lady, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck.
A big thank you to our partners, RanchChannel.com, Transova Genetics, Axiota Animal Health, bringing you Multi-Min and Lactipro, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Galvy Association, Imogene Ingredients, Pharmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources, Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, the Tri-State Livestock News, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station.
And crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to follow and like us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. Our email is ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call and text 24/7 at 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420. Spread the good word and join us again next week where it's always Tigger and Beck approved.
Stay ranchy and ranch it up.